Hey everyone, and welcome to this mini deep dive all about mega developers. If you're even thinking about hiring one, you're in the right place because we're going to cover everything you need to know in under 10 minutes.
Sounds good.
Now, before we dive in, don't forget to check out theperfectdeveloper.com and try out their 5 questions tool. It's seriously helpful for finding the perfect developer for what you need. So I've been hearing all this buzz about mega developers, and honestly, I'm a little starstruck.
Aha, I get it.
It's like they're the rock stars of the coding world.
Yeah.
Can you help me separate the hype from reality? What exactly is a mega developer?
They are a rare breed, that's for sure. Mega developers are these highly skilled programmers who can handle pretty much anything. Front-end, back-end databases, cloud technologies, even the behind-the-scenes stuff like DevOps, which is basically making sure the code runs smoothly, all the way from the developer's computer to the user's device. You can think of them as the ultimate full-stack developer, but with expertise in tons of different areas.
So like a Swiss Army knife of tech skills?
Exactly.
Okay, that's impressive. But let's say I'm building a healthcare app, something that needs to handle like sensitive patient data, integrate with wearable devices, and provide like real-time analytics to doctors. Is that the kind of scenario where a mega developer would be really valuable?
Absolutely a perfect example. Imagine trying to coordinate a bunch of different developers for that. The complexity would be crazy.
Yeah.
But a mega developer understands how it all fits together. They can see the whole system, from user experience to back-end infrastructure, and they can create a really smooth, secure, high-performing solution.
I'm starting to see the appeal. But how are they different from developers who just specialize in one specific area? Is it just that they have a broader skill set?
It's more than just having a wider range of skills. They have a really deep understanding of lots of different areas.
Yeah.
Unlike specialists, they really grasp how everything interacts, and they make sure that user experience, security, and performance are all working together. It's like the difference between knowing a little bit about a lot of things and being a master of many.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So these mega developers don't just grow on trees, right?
You're right about that. They are rare, especially when you're talking about entry level. Becoming a mega developer takes a lot of time, dedication, and experience. We're talking at least 5 to 10 years, if not more, of working across different areas of development. It's the kind of expertise that comes from years of practice and constantly learning new things.
Okay, so let's say we're lucky enough to be looking for one of these unicorns. What skills and qualities should we really focus on? I mean, the Mega Developers Playbook guide lists so many.
Let's break it down. Technical expertise is obviously essential. Look for experience in cloud computing platforms like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud.
Right.
If you need your app to handle like millions of users, a mega developer would know how to use the power of the cloud to make that happen.
That makes sense. What about tools like Docker and Kubernetes? Are those important for mega developers?
Absolutely. Automation is key. A mega developer who's good with those tools can automate tasks, improve efficiency, and make sure everything is consistent throughout the whole development process.
So it's not just about being a coding whiz. It's about being strategic and seeing the big picture.
Exactly. And here's something people often forget. Soft skills.
Oh, really? I wouldn't have thought of that.
You'd be surprised how many super talented developers struggle with things like communication and collaboration.
Okay, so with all that technical expertise, is there a risk that they'll be too focused on the code and not enough on the business side of things?
It's a valid concern. That's why soft skills are so important for mega developers. They often have to work with people from different teams, including people who aren't technical. So being able to explain complex ideas and collaborate effectively is really essential.
Makes sense. It's not just about being brilliant with code. It's also about being a team player and a good communicator.
Exactly. In fact, lots of companies look for mega developers, not just because of their technical skills, but also because they can drive innovation.
Interesting.
Because they understand the whole system. They often see opportunities for improvement, and they come up with new solutions. They're not just building what's asked for. They're always thinking about what's possible.
Okay, now for the big question. The elephant in the room.
Hit me with it.
Salary.
Yes, the big one.
You got to be realistic about the investment. Let's talk numbers.
All right, let's break it down. Keep in mind it can vary a lot, depending on experience, location, and the job itself. Theperfectdeveloper.com actually has some great resources on this that break it down in detail.
Okay, so give me a ballpark. What are we looking at here?
All right. In the US, especially in those big tech hubs, mega developers can earn anywhere from $130,000 to $200,000 a year.
Wow.
And for those senior roles, with a lot of experience, you could be looking at well over $220,000.
Right.
In Europe, it's more like $70,000 to $150,000 a year. And in Asia, it's usually between $30,000 and $80,000. Although the top talent can earn a lot more.
So location matters, just like with real estate. So US-based in Silicon Valley are going to be at the top of that pay scale.
Yeah.
But hiring remotely or from other countries could save you some money, right?
Exactly.
That's why it's important to think about all your options. And that brings us to another question. What's the best way to actually hire a mega developer?
That's a great question.
There are so many options. Full-time, part-time, in-house, outsource.
It can be overwhelming for sure.
How do we decide?
So let's break it down. First, you need to think about whether you need a full-time mega developer or if part-time or contract would work better.
Yeah.
ThePerfectDeveloper.com actually has a ton of info on this, different engagement models and all that. The important thing is to match your hiring strategy to what you actually need. Do you need someone long-term for ongoing development and maintenance, or is it just a one-time project?
Right.
Full-time makes sense if you're making a big commitment, but part-time or contract can be more cost-effective for those shorter projects.
Got it. So matching the model to the work. What about the whole in-house versus outsourcing thing? What should we be thinking about there?
Another decision that really depends on your situation. Ask yourself, is this mega development work like a core part of your business? Do you need constant collaboration, close communication, or are you just looking for an expert for a specific project?
Right.
If it's mission critical and you need to work together all the time, then building an in-house team might be the way to go. But if it's more of a standalone project, outsourcing to a good firm or a freelancer could be smarter.
That makes sense, figuring out where mega development fits into the big picture.
Exactly.
And of course, we can't forget about remote work. It's opened up so many possibilities.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on local versus remote or overseas hiring?
It's a great point. Going remote can really widen your talent pool and potentially even lower costs. But you really need to have good communication systems and project management in place to make sure everyone's working together smoothly.
So remote work can be great, but it needs extra attention to communication and making sure everything stays on track. Speaking of potential problems, let's talk about some of the challenges and red flags. When it comes to hiring a mega developer,
Okay.
we need to go into this with our eyes open,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Mega developers offer huge value, but the hiring process can be tricky. One of the biggest things is verifying their skills.
Right. It's easy to say you're a mega developer, but how do you really know?
A good portfolio review is key. You want to see real examples of their past projects. Don't just rely on resumes or fancy job titles. Ask for details. How did they solve tough problems? What impact did their work have? ThePerfectDeveloper.com can actually guide you through this whole process. They can help you evaluate portfolios and conduct good technical interviews.
So look beyond the buzzwords and really dig into their experience.
Yeah.
What other red flags should we watch out for?
Be careful of anyone who says they're a mega developer, but can't give you clear examples of their work, or they struggle to explain what they did.
Interesting.
Vague descriptions, or not being able to explain technical things clearly could be a sign that they're not as mega as they claim.
So be a little skeptical. Don't just be impressed by the label. Make sure their experience matches what you need.
Exactly.
And don't forget, hiring a mega developer is an investment. They're in high demand. So the process can take time.
It can.
So patience is key. It's like a marathon, not a sprint.
Well said. It's all about finding the right fit for your company and your goals.
So to recap, hiring a mega developer can be a game changer, but it takes planning and the right approach.
Absolutely. Before you even start looking, take the time to figure out what you need, what you expect, and understand the investment involved.
Great advice. And remember, resources like theperfectdeveloper.com are there to help.
They are.
They can guide you through the process and help you make informed decisions.
Exactly.
And for our listeners who are ready to get started, head over to lepricdeveloper.com and try out their 5 questions tool.
It's a great way to narrow down your search and find candidates with the right skills and experience.
All right, everyone, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of mega developers. I hope you found it helpful. So as we've been talking about mega developers, it got me thinking about what happens after you actually hire one. How do you make sure they're successful?
That's a really important point. Onboarding a mega developer the right way is critical, both for them and for your company.
So we can't just assume they'll figure it out on their own.
Exactly. Imagine you just bought a super fancy race car. You wouldn't just hand over the keys and expect them to win without any training or support.
That's a great analogy. So how do we create the right environment for a mega developer to really shine?
Well, first things first, you need to be super clear about what you expect from them right from the beginning.
No surprises, just clear communication.
Exactly. They need to know their role, their responsibilities, and how their work fits into the bigger picture.
And what are the tools and resources they need?
Another crucial part, make sure they have access to the software, the documentation, all the support systems they need to do their job well.
It's like giving them a fully equipped workshop.
Exactly. Even a mega developer needs the right tools.
What about mentorship?
That can be hugely valuable. Pair your new mega developer with someone experienced who can give them guidance and insights, especially about the company culture.
That's a great idea.
And remember, onboarding isn't a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process.
It's for regular check-ins, feedback, and opportunities to learn and grow.
Exactly. You want to create a culture where they feel valued and challenged so they can keep learning and improving.
That makes a lot of sense. If you can do all that, you'll not only keep these amazing developers,
but you'll also help them reach their full potential.
This has been so helpful. It's clear that finding a mega developer is just the first step. Creating the right environment for them is just as important.
Absolutely. And for those of you who are ready to start this journey, theperfectdeveloper.com is an amazing resource.
They really are the experts. They can help you find and onboard the perfect developer, including those mega developers.
And don't forget about their 5 questions tool. It's a great way to simplify your search and find the perfect fit for your needs.
Well, that brings our mega developer deep dive to an end. We've covered a lot today.
We have. Hiring a mega developer can really transform your company. But it's an investment. So take your time, do your research, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Great advice. Until next time, happy coding, everyone.